I don't know. We gotta fix it
Good
really quick.
evening, bubble tea fans and players. Welcome to Bubble Tea Time. I'm your host, Brian Decadonu Win. We're joined by quite a few people today, so we'll go one by one down the line. Um, Next to me in this little screen is Steven Karasaki Ace Beck. Um, never a stranger to caster curses. Every single call he makes on stream is like a little bit of Nine-Tailed Foxes like unleashing all over the
I
place and
I
every
thought we had
broadcast.
an agreement that we were gonna talk about that on stream. What's going on here?
Maybe the agreement is that you shouldn't talk anymore on stream, so it doesn't
Oh
manifest
no,
itself.
not like this.
Yes. And then to his left, right, somewhere, some direction, our very own Detective Conan getting down to the meat of every little stat, every little insight between players. Dan Z Andrade. Hello.
What's up?
And then there's Matt. All right.
Yeah, it's just me.
No, there's Matt.
Onward.
Never never follows the trend. Predicts ridiculous teams, aka teams that aren't PO. But finds out the answers anyway. Guesses the right answers anyway. It's our very own Loop in the Third. Hello, Matt.
Gotta
How's
make it
it going?
interesting.
Is it
Good, good.
Alki or Ike?
Uh,
It's Alki, right?
You could just call
We
me
should.
Feeder. That works.
Oh,
Especially
Oh
after
my
last
that's
god.
that's
Where's your self
that's Steven's job.
confidence?
Sorry.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And also
Uh-oh.
the cams are really busted. I think Nick Mead and
They're trying to
Brennan's
fix
I
cams
that
are
think
blur.
doomed.
we're fucked or we messed this all up. It's gone.
Oh no. All
Wait, they're
right.
back.
Well,
I see them.
I see them, but I think that broadcast is all doomed, isn't it?
Yeah.
All
We
right. Well, anyways,
There we
this
Hey,
go.
is
we're
Mr. Nick
back.
Mead. Oh, there we go. Nick Mead always fights for his friends. Bastion of positivity. How are you?
technically, yeah.
Yeah, this is
Sorry,
Nick Mead.
my bad, tech crew.
There we go. And then alongside Nick Mead in the same room, sharing his rivalry, the Gary to Nick Mead's Ash, the Kaiba to his Yugi. It's Mr. Brennan Sinsie himself. What's up?
Hello.
All right. Cool.
Hey.
That was a long intro. Hell yeah. All
Yeah.
right, let's skip forward to our next segment, our first segment of the day. We'll be talking about some matches that happened this week. There was a few of them, one less than normal. Um, the first match, I actually don't know chronologically which order these happened because it definitely isn't PO versus AR second. But the first match on this little document is EXO versus Deep Dive. Deep Dive took home the gold, and we have a clip.
Oh.
Oh, all right. Take it away, please.
Oh, well, this is not the clip I expected,
Uh,
but hey, there's a solid mouth fight engage. They pick off
Oh yeah.
the Ash player,
For this now.
and yeah, since I don't know which clip we're watching, I'm just gonna talk about what I saw in this game. I think Aurochs Frostheart Tim, he had a ton of lane pressure this whole entire game. And instead of capitalizing, I think what they should have done is capitalize on the Shenel Prio, and make plays with Hecarim, dive bot over and over, and look for plays like that. Instead, I think there were some communication issues, and overall, they basically let the other team scale, and Big Senna was just free hitting all of them in the team fights without getting touched, and I think that's kind of how that game turned out. But I still see a lot of future in in Tim, especially in EXO. But yeah, it's the
Yeah, I
way it
mean, it's
went.
definitely good to see a team break their loss streak and try to gain some momentum and build it for the rest of the season. Being on the not so hot side of that matchup, what are you guys gonna do to kind of stem the tide, Mr. Cincy?
Okay. So I think our main issue comes down to when we're in a game, we don't know what we're doing, which is a pretty glaring flaw, I guess, and pretty general, but we don't have a super clear shot calling like structure or what we're doing. So I think if there was going to be a number one way for us to improve, it would probably be through fixing our communication and having that dedicated shot caller. So at least we're all on the same page and doing something. But for right now, we definitely lack that core.
And realistically, I think once you get the communication and like you figure out what the plan is and then execute the plan, like based on your draft and like your thoughts of how you want to play the game, I think you're a very scary team. I think communication is your biggest problem.
Yeah, for sure. I think like individually, we've got some good players.
I'm still on the Sinsie high train.
Yeah.
I'm
Still
waiting. I'm
on.
waiting for that huge pop off, bud. I know you have it in you.
One day,
I
maybe
I think
maybe
like
tomorrow. I
awesome.
might.
I think like MBB EXO, is able to gain some early leads. A lot of early leads actually. I mean, Tim was gigantic this game. Um, the support Tommy and Cincy in the bot lane kind of ran shop. Um, so there's a lot of potential there, like you guys said. Just putting it together. From the last season, we saw Sopa play pretty hot. Sometimes you didn't know if it was Sopa or Dopa at the keyboard. So
Oh my
hopefully we'll see a little bit more of that going forward. All right, let's talk to the next game. Not POAR because we haven't played it yet. We'll talk about that stomp next week. And then let's go to the third game. So THD versus GB. By the way, POAR is tomorrow. Don't miss it. Or maybe you should miss it. You don't want to see me feed. All right. So let's hop over to the next game. I don't know who's taking this away, but someone
This
go
one's me.
through it. I believe in
This
you.
is the clip
We're
that
gonna
I
believe in you.
chose, so I know what's
All right,
going
there we
on
go.
here. All right, so in this state, I'll talk from my perspective because I played the game. We had to make a play. If they get this soul here, I mean, this game's already going downhill. I went for an engage, but the Wukong just completely destroyed me by using his W and then ulting me out of my E. And then the rest of the team on my side got dove by this insane dive comp. Wukong, Hecarim, Diana. How do they even play the game without their tank, man? Well played by them.
We'll play. We'll play.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think
Just on the
oh,
tear.
I was gonna say in this game, I just feel like the Swain pick caught us off guard. And they we were
That was a
questioning if it
beautiful
was a
play.
mid or ADC Swain. We kind of figured it. We kind of just did like a one ban each just in case. It's not mid or bot or not bot but mid or whatever. Um, but yeah, Misa just ran around and just destroyed all of us. He double crabbed our jungler. Bot lane was winning naturally. Top lane was rough, playing a tank into Wukong. Yeah, it was well played by the other team. You want to say
I think
anything from the receiving end, Matt?
Uh, you know, there's a seventh place in hell for people who play AP's bot. I'm just saying. But that was well played. Good game. Good game.
I think a lot of viewers, probably Dan and whoever else was watching that game, myself probably included, were pretty surprised to see Steven opt for a tank matchup in the top side, or not tank matchup, but tanks on himself. Is that something is it just like a new look that you guys are trying? Was this game one of those like exploratory games? So you can find out, expand the repertoire a bit of GB, make you guys a little spicier down the line.
Sure, we
We
can do anything.
actually
Okay.
we actually had some strats going with tanks, but then it kind of got ruined after like how the draft went. So we were drafting for for a couple of special picks, and then as draft went on, it kind of became less not a great choice to go those. But then I don't know, like during some of the practice games, like I would play a tank and Matt would pop off, and I just wanted to keep that option open. I still think it's possible for us to do that with a little bit more practice, but we definitely don't have a lot of practice with me on a tank yet.
Sure.
So
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys look hot in the future, maybe with tank strats or without. We'll hop over to TSC versus NBS now. Another clip, of course, and brought to you by Dan Z himself.
Yes.
Um, with the hot
Honestly,
takes or the
this
analysis,
this was a really good game from TSC. I think this was pretty much an upset according to us on the analyst desk.
for sure.
And Vidamid falls down here, but this is such a clean turret dive from Nick Mead and Mooney like Rel. Mooney, please stop changing your name. uh, but the fight tends to gets extended uh, as they're looking for a reset, and they see Rel here, and they start backing off. And Man on Silas is coming down, and Nick Mead, why did you cancel that back? You were out.
I know. I really should have back there. I saw Zach was coming down. I thought maybe there was a chance that I survived long enough. I still
I
had flash.
mean, this was like such a long
Dang.
fight, and
Mhm.
it
I need
just
flash
kept
to go.
going. And
Yeah.
in the end, I guess PJ comes in with the TP to bring that to your
TP?
side.
Yeah,
Or
TP.
NickMead's pulling
Yeah.
the CLG out of his back pocket, giving him false hope.
I see.
Yeah.
But you like you guys just started snowballing ahead and it just did not stop.
For sure.
PJ ended up 7-1 in like I don't know 8.
I know we had some luck in our early games with the Rel roaming top. PJ ended up surviving that and turning it into like a 2 kills for us or something. And then it was a free tower dive bot. And then after that, just there weren't a lot of opportunities for them to really make a comeback. And I just kind of snowballed out of control. Yeah.
Yeah, Dan talked about this being an upset. Obviously on our desk we did not have very much faith in TSC in this matchup. And you know, haters gonna hate, and you guys gonna run table anyway. So you proved us all wrong. Did you guys go into this matchup thinking, ooh, this is gonna be a hard one, or oh, I don't think we're gonna win this one, or is it just start to finish easiest game of my life? Because I mean, it was like you guys had a scaling comp with a kale top, a Seraphine, and everything. And you kind of just ran them over.
I don't know. I don't think like even when we were ahead early in the game, we knew that NBS had come back from some pretty heavy setbacks in earlier games. So there weren't any points in the game where we were like sure that we were gonna win. And going into it, seeing the stream poll of like I think we had like 2K to 13K channel points against us or something.
Thanks for the channel points, by the way.
Yeah, of course. But I don't. Verbally we didn't have any fears communicated between us, but I think I don't know, and there was definitely some fear for me at least watching some other past games, but maybe the fear
Gotcha.
is a good thing.
Yeah, maybe it's unfounded. Win streak to the end.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. I mean, that might have been the biggest upset of the season, so gonna be hard to top that one. But maybe down the line, maybe maybe PO goes like 7-0 from here, and then losing the final week of the season or second the last week of the season. Who knows?
Yeah.
So
We're gonna take you down, Brian.
we're gonna try not to. All right, let's move over to MVP versus SB, our last match of the week that was played. And Matt will take you this replay
All right, so
from
this is a
pretty good
this
game.
is a really scrappy game. This is a really good game. I like that there's a bunch of back and forth plays here. As you can see, very critically, Mayo has 2 completed items, so that is really good. Plus, you have the Morgana jungle that's really working out here. It was very well played by Caribou in this game. Ultimately, SB did win out, but I think we saw a lot of improvement off of MVP, so that's looking pretty bright for their next games. Like, check out that Morgana fight.
We missed the Morgana snipes under tower. Oh
Dude,
no.
that
That's the best
it was
part.
looking so good. Hey man, gotta keep the winners in like no, honestly, Adam was probably like the scariest Morgana I've faced in a long time.
Mhm.
And basically I became the bush checker for our team because I was pretty much just an ult bot. So I would eat the Morgana binding for my team and then, the rest of them would take care of it. Shoutouts to Will for playing Yorick spectacularly.
The signature Will York, Paul.
Yeah.
You know, I keep saying this. I'm so glad GB already played you guys. York gets buffs, and I'm like, well, we already played y'all. Who cares? Forget that.
All right. Well, that's it for the matches of the week or the match recaps of the week. Let's move on to the future. Forget about the past. And the first one, we're gonna hit the desk directly because a couple of our players here are playing against each other this week, NickMead and Mr. Sinsie, and we have to see how they stack up now and how they'll stack up in their actual grudge match. So dance stats.
Yeah, we got our 2 guest stars here and I think that's pretty close. I don't know if they will agree with that. So what do you guys think?
As you can see from the stats, I'm clearly better, but
I mean, as you can see from the stats, NickMead doesn't help with kills, so that's all I can say. GPM and DPM are just winning team stats, so Yeah, I don't know. I contribute vision and help my team get kills, and Nick doesn't. So.
I mean, how much of that vision is inflated because of how many Ash games you have?
No.
Hmm.
Still contributing.
I don't know. I think me having our team having 2 wins under our belt does inflate my stats a little bit, but um, I don't know. I wouldn't consider myself a better player, but
Well, you heard it here first. Like,
I don't know.
All right. Well, I got a question from the audience. All right. TheNickMead asks or says, I would like Nick Me to answer how he thinks Sinsie will handle being manhandled by him this week. Thoughts?
How I think since you will handle being manhandled by me. Well, our power box is right outside of his room, so
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Since you
He
got
holds the keys to this car.
Wait, but then
Oh,
they
no.
both go down, right?
True.
oh,
they
we're on the same breaker switch.
Oh.
No. It's okay.
uh
I want to wallow in shame anyway. I can just sit in the dark. It'll be okay.
So where you have like a little gentleman's agreement. Nick Me gets his Zaya, since he gets his Tristana, and we just see how that goes.
I actually think that we had a discussion about this, but it landed more on like he was gonna play Garen and I was gonna play Yasuo instead.
Oh, okay.
We thought that would be a little more fair.
Who gets the Yumi then?
Yeah, the Yumi's
What do you mean? It's Yasuo Gragas bot lane and Yumi Garen bot lane. Let's go.
Let's go.
who gets the bigger slams.
So we have plenty of takes on who wins the ADC matchup, but we can hop to predictions and see who wins the team matchup.
Uh-oh.
So, let's kick it off. TSC versus EXO. The graphic. Who's going in? Who's gonna win?
Just to be clear,
Analyst S says,
Yeah.
a little TSC sided. That's a lot of white armbands there.
just a Nick gap. I don't know.
What's your counter, Brennan?
I don't know. I have much of counter. I think TSC right now might just be the better team, and for this week, they might be able to take it. We still have a lot of growing to do, but I think this is a good opportunity for us to get some practice under our belt and get better looking forward. So we'll see that the best we can do. But
I love
They're
the
a lot harder
overwhelming confidence. It's exuding through your screen.
hey, we could do
yeah.
it. But
Nick Mead, tell me how you're gonna lose. Don't
Hmm.
check your PayPal after the game.
how we're gonna lose. Oh, well, I mean, Tim is definitely a solid top laner, so there could be something there. But we do have Clove, so I'm not too worried about that matchup. They're both kind of very strong solo players. Um, so I guess if top turns into like some kind of explosive matchup between if Tim is playing Mordekaiser and we have like Gnar or something on our team, then that could end up turning pretty heavily favored towards them, depending on how that matchup goes. But the rest of the map, I think we're pretty even. I don't
There
know.
is one single problem that Javi had to point out to us in chat. You
Yeah.
guys just got caster cursed by Steven.
Ooh.
get
Ooh.
wrecked. But I didn't speak about it, so that's
It's
the difference, right? Brian said I shouldn't speak on stream.
All right.
So
What's your opinion on the game, Steven?
on the game, look, here's the thing. I think there's a little bit of bias towards, in favor of TSC because TSC had a really good game last week, and EXO had a little bit of a rough game last week. So, I mean, there's going to be a little bit of bias based, from the predictions there. But I still think it's anyone's game in reality. Like it's pretty close matchup. Like I don't think one team is like super strong compared to the other. It's kind of up in the air to me. I don't think the prediction should have been so one-sided, but
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I think if TSC can beat NBS in a match that we all predicted NBS would win, then what's to stop XO from pulling a TSC on TSC?
Ooh.
Wait, sorry, could you?
no, because
You
butter, but then
just
you
blew his
won.
brain.
This week everyone predicted
Right.
you, so we win.
All right, Nick
See,
Mead's
this-
already mentally shattered.
look, dude,
Alki,
this
can
is
you tell him how it feels to be mentally shattered? You might be an expert in that.
Maybe
Oh yeah,
and
dude.
how he can
Oh,
overcome it
You
going
can
into this
you come
matchup.
drink with me on it. Like so, all you gotta do is you
It's
just
okay.
set your lane and you yell at your support, and there
It's
you
all
go. You're
right.
good.
You know, TL Srivana is probably like a
Oh,
connoisseur
dude.
of that.
He's in a
oh,
whole different dimension, dude.
All right.
yeah,
Well, you
and
know what?
if that fails, just blame your jungle and say it's jungle diff. What can you do?
Oof,
It's
Charlie.
always jungle
It's
Unfortunate.
always jungle diff.
Rip Charlie, dude.
On a
All
real
right.
note, I do think the mid jungle diff would be a pretty good highlight for this game. Captain Javier and
Mm.
Supwa have been working together, so it'll be fun to see.
the mid better
Sick.
look out.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Let's move on to our next match. Good luck to both of you in this matchup. Hopefully you don't, hit that breaker box or tear up that couch afterwards. THC versus MBB could be a banger. Our analysts think probably not. But Nick Mead, on the other hand, he can't vote against his former team. So, the Nick Mead, other than the fact that it's your former team, why else will MBB take home the gold here?
I don't know. I just have a very strong feeling. I don't think any games are really predetermined. I think I don't know. I just have a good feeling about it. Maybe.
You're saying there's no
Ooh.
script?
Uh,
I do think that THC also has a jungle sub this game. And that could throw a wrench in things for better or for worse. He has a different pool than Misa. Um,
Hey, they both
yes,
play Hecarim.
they do. It's Offerstain. He's been in the league last season too. I think it could be good or bad for THD. Maybe it's a different look, and MBB will have to adapt to something that they haven't already seen like 4 weeks of. So could be a thing. Anyways, of everybody else who voted THD, let's I don't know. I didn't get too much of your take for this one, Matt. So, of everybody else, Matt, why is THD gonna tear apart MBB here?
uh, I think it actually could be a closer game considering the game that they last played. Caribou could take it to Misa. I do think he's one of the better junglers, so maybe they can work together with some jungle support synergy and just keep an eye on Misa, stop him from making an explosive early game. So I'm actually leaning more towards MBB on this one, believe it or not.
Wait,
But considering how the game just went, I voted for THD.
the question is, Misa's in the
Okay.
chat, isn't he?
He
Misa,
said,
are you subbed or not?
Subbed.
Oh, he
I thought
is.
Misa
He
was
is playing this week. Okay, okay,
Oh, he
okay.
Oh,
said
he
it's fake
is.
news.
He is.
Oh, fake news. All right. Does that change anything for you, Matt?
No.
Oh well, okay. Rip MBB.
that's
Kind
just
of.
oh man.
Wait. Also, we got Brian voting against MBB.
Oh dear, you sussed me
No,
out.
wait.
You
Wait,
know,
aren't you the coach for that team or something? Like, I don't know,
I am, I
man.
am, I am.
That's toxic, dude.
Yeah, it's a little toxic, but I believe, but I don't know if I like believe. You know what I'm saying?
And
Um,
your reputation.
yeah, I think this one might be pretty. I mean, I'm hoping that MBB will win, and whatever strats we pull out will win. But I do think that THC has a lot of tricks under this sleeve, and I think like things like unorthodox bot lanes and stuff like that might throw a lot of wrenches into this plan. They whipped out this way last time around. They might have more stuff in their toolbox. I know, like, Diana and Vladimir are really big right now. I know Nikolai plays Diana. I know Misa plays Diana. Um, there's a lot of picks like that are up in the air, and I don't know if they're shared picks. So, with that said, I hope MBB will show up. They will win early games pretty handily in a lot of early games. They just have a tough time like converting. Um, but like Misa, I'm sure all about not being able to convert early games. Rumble. Anyways, let's
Whoa.
move on to our next match. GB versus AR, baby.
How dare you?
Um, yeah, oof, little awkward. Um, this feels really weird to me that everybody would vote AR here because we're about to expose them tomorrow, and everybody's gonna wish that they voted GB. Just ignore my vote. Ooh, didn't say that.
Man.
Um, let's get a take from okay, let's get a take from GB member. Why is this not gonna happen? Why are we doing this to you?
Look, let
I
me just
voted
start it off.
GB, so Steven say it.
Let me just start it like this, okay? We can't
Oh, no,
vote for our own teams. Guess who Matt voted for? He put AR and then wrote LOL, dude.
You
Who is
It's a
this
do it.
guy?
joke, man.
He's
It's a
gonna
joke.
he's here to
It's a
sabotage.
joke, Matt.
He,
It was a
he's here to
okay.
It's just a joke.
Oh no.
If there's no faith from our ADC, how are we gonna win, man? We're getting sabotaged here. But
Oh no.
although we did get slapped around by THD, you know, I think AR is definitely beatable for us. And I don't know. I just think we potentially could be a better team. It depends. When we're on, when GB is playing well, we're really strong. But then we don't know what to do when we make mistakes, and we don't know how to come back from making certain mistakes. So that's one of our biggest issues. But if we just get the game rolling early, we know how to close. We know how to, push our lead. The biggest factor is A, will we throw, and then like B is will we get a lead? Because a lot of times when we're really behind in a lot of lanes, we're just kind of just like we don't know what to do. So we'll see. We'll see which GB comes out tomorrow. I'm feeling pretty good though.
It's
So
here, it's here. All right, y'all ready for some
It's
spicy take? Here's a spicy take, guys.
Yeah,
Spicy
let's
take.
hear it. Let's
All right,
go.
let's hear it. Tacticals there. Gazelle, Nathan, my boy, goes 0-5 in lane. I'll be 40 CS down on Jack Limestone, but we'll stomp this game. Trust.
You mean CS up?
Trust.
That's I think I heard up.
No,
I think we
down.
got the
But we'll
directions
win.
wrong.
It'll be all right.
All right. Well, like to hear the semi confidence. I hear your friend, your jungler Charlie also has a confidence. I quote from 7:55 p.m. Can I get a fucking team swap? Um, interesting, interesting take.
I'm sure
Well,
he was joking
hopefully,
too.
yeah, hopefully GB gets all their jokes together
Yeah.
and AR falls for it, and you guys sweep them off the face of the earth and prove us all wrong. Let's move on to the next game. SB versus NBS. This one is actually the most split vote this time around. It's not, perfectly split, but it's getting there. Um, Colin's not here to defend his SB, hot take, I guess, but I am. And so, hello. I think SB is looking pretty solid. This was before they just swapped the ADC, so it's a little awkward. But I still think, their new ADC coming in, I don't think, is a big downgrade or anything. In fact, like maybe he doesn't tilt off the face of the earth. Um, but I do think SB has a pretty cohesive team identity. They really like playing topside. And even when they don't play topside, their bot lane has found ways to get themselves into games and insert themselves in team fights in a productive manner. Um, Yobedi White shows up pretty hard, especially if you give him like his comfort picks like Ari, etc. He can go off. I think SB is looking pretty good, and I think specifically NBS is a really strong team, but they just got upset by TSC in a pretty pretty shocking manner. I do think that um, I do think that NBS has some weaknesses, especially like in the early phases of the game. And if SB can get the snowball rolling and then push it to the finish line, it might be hard for NBS to uh, totally catch up. So that's my take on it. I think I voted NBS for literally every other game in the season, but this is the first one I'm like, hey, I think SB has a shot. So. But now for everybody else that's here, you guys all say NBS. Who wants to start off? How about let's say let's go with TheNickMead and Sinsie. Why is NBS taking home this one?
I think the game against the student council where they lost was just like a total fluke.
Fluke.
I think that the shot
Hey, like a 24-minute fluke, but fluke nonetheless.
well, they got behind early and then it was tough. But
Mhm.
I think as long like if Matthew plays a champion that is a little less useless when they get behind, him and Man can like take over games. So I think that that is the way they win. And if he plays like a Tom Kench or a Lulu or literally anything else, that the game is like way
He
easier.
played Rel.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
Rel's still
He
great
played Rel.
from
yeah, but if you
behind.
get behind on row, what do you do? Jump in and
You
die?
set up your team to like
I mean,
collapse on people. Like
They just lost early and the row was useless.
you're the tankiest support in the game.
yeah, I feel like you could say that about like Leona or Alistar. Kind
Yeah,
of the same deal. They just go in.
don't play those either. I think
Play those. Don't play Lulu. Don't play Pike or Tom Kench. What can he play? Oh, it's a Xerath angle. I see. Nathan was ahead of the game, dude. Nathan was ahead of the game.
yeah, I don't know. I just think Man and Matthew together, like they're usually better than what they showed. So I think that's their angle.
Yeah, I mean, they're clearly a good team. They're 3-1. Maybe they'll be 4-1 after this too. How about you, Steven, Matt? What are you guys thinking
You
about
know,
Subsidy matchup?
like here's the thing. It was pretty close for me, but what reinforced why I chose NBS over SB is they just got a new AD carry, man. They probably don't have the synergy built. They probably haven't practiced together yet since the trade just happened recently. Um, I think it's gonna take some time before they're back on their form. So
So I actually made my vote for SB. Oh, sorry, not for MBS when they had their old AD carry. I'm actually gonna change my vote right here on stream. I'm gonna go with SB.
Ooh.
I'm gonna join the SB hype train, and the reason why is because
He's talking
Savory,
shit
this
about
guy,
your graphics.
this guy, he can play pretty well, and he has the mental of a king.
Mental
So he's
fucking
gonna
fortitude.
freaking keep them all positive, all good vibes, motivate them to carry throughout the game,
Alright.
wait,
and
can we
we'll
talk
just pop
about?
off.
To the
Can we
SB
talk
hype
about?
train, Matt.
Yeah, there we go.
I
SB
mean,
hype train.
The
SB hype
P, let's
train
see
chat.
it.
Wait, we
Yeah,
need
SB
guys with
hype
good
train
mentals
chat.
on GB.
I mean, I did talk to
JB, no words, James.
Savory, and guy is so chipper. Like, I'm
Yeah.
excited to play with him.
Yeah, Eddie's a
Mr.
cool dude.
Eddie, tear up the league, starting from this week. And finally, last but not least, let's hit the last match of the day or week. Sorry, PO versus Deep Dive. We also have a pretty big swing here. I was not allowed to vote. I don't know why Adam didn't vote because I don't think he's like subbing or anything, is he? I have no idea. Anyways, I don't know. But Adam will abstain. Everybody else gets a vote. It looks like a lot of PO votes, but Mr. NickMead again, the contrarian. Why deep dive, NickMead? Why do I have to hunt you?
I have a lot of faith in deep. I think that they had a rough start, but I think Blades on Batonage and Wired are really gonna take off this season. I don't know. It's probably the team that I'm the most scared of, to be honest. But
Whoa.
I think this could be the game. It might not be this game, but sometime in the future they're gonna be a scary team, and I don't look forward to facing them. But
Yeah,
and
I mean, they were high in our power rankings at the start of the season. I think like I don't know, I put them like third or something like that. Um, I don't know. They seem like a pretty good team. So
I
on
think
paper at
they're
least.
ironically really good.
yeah, right.
I think they're going to turn it back on. They just needed to get the ball rolling and get out of the mental gutter. Now they're ready to go.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
a close game. I still think PIO takes it, but
yeah, you gave them their start, Brennan. Take that to the bank. You're the sixth
yeah,
man.
we made that team succeed.
Exactly. There you go. It was all EXO all along. Any win they get is also an EXO win. That's how I feel about that one.
Yeah.
What about the rest of y'all? Steven, Dan, Matt,
Dude,
how you guys
this
feel?
is the thing. Whenever Brian's on a team, and like the team's doing well early, it's doomed. They're gonna win. That's just the way I see it. I just, I just put PO every time now. I don't even check.
I had faith in Deep Dive. I saw the potential. Then I saw that one Nunu game, and I was like, okay, maybe not.
Hey,
Oh no.
It happens though. Shit happens.
Dragon hurts, man.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
I don't
Dan,
know. It's hard
last take.
for me to vote against Brian when, honestly, I want to be the team that ends their streak. So
Ooh, fair, fair, fair. I mean, AR might do it this week. Who knows? So,
true, true. They might beat me to the punch.
all right. Okay, cool. Let's hop over to some Twitch questions now that we're done with our main segments. We've got a couple lined up on my phone, and the first one from Mr. Jack Limestone, Mr. Brighton. Question for the couch. Who do you look up to most in BTL, and why is it Jack Limestone in the ADC position? So this is for Mr. NickMead and Sinsie. Please answer to the fullest of your ability, if you would.
Well, for me personally, I look up to Jack Limestone because he's simply the best AD carry in the league. Like, there's so much you can learn if you just watch better players. So when I see Jack and like his just unmatched aggression, that guy plays hard, and I just want to imitate that, you know? So
Yeah, I just love just staring at his thick throbbing skill.
God, he's
What about you,
so
NickMead?
good.
What about you, Mr. NickMead? How do you feel about that?
I think Jack is a very strong ADC, but I don't know if he's the one that I look up to the most.
Ooh, who is it then?
I think the ADC that I look up to the most is probably Sinsie.
Whoa!
Oh, heart.
So wholesome.
So wholesome. It's a really weird way to say Mina, but we'll take that. All right, moving on to our next question, Javier. I have a question. That's first, not really. When will Sinsie carry my heavy ass?
Ah,
But dude, all you gotta do is just not in. That's it.
don't hit
Oof,
forehead.
5 head. Oh
You
well, okay.
got as soon as we stop that.
You heard it here first. Don't int.
Yeah.
Career advice. Next one. A lot. What? Okay. I don't know what you wrote this, but anyways, Javier, what are their pro player spirit animals? I think this means if you were a homeless man's pro player analog, what is the pro player that you're, the analog of? So let's just start this. I don't know. Let's go Dan Z. What's your pro player analog? You're like trying to model your game. You live in a box, but that box is somewhat shaped like this pro player.
Current or
All
doing
time,
all
Daniel.
time?
If you want to pick Messiah or something, you can.
I was gonna say
I mean,
Mad
I don't
Life.
know why you picked Messiah, but ooh, Mad Life. All right.
Dude,
What's your
Thresh
favorite Mad
Master.
Life play? Yeah.
Dude, anything on Thresh, man. The guy, his Thresh hook predictions. Like when you get one of those, you still say, "I pulled a Mad Life," and you feel hype.
All right. All right. How about you, Mr. Alki? Let's go, Alki. It's a pro
Okay,
player analog.
definitely 100% double lift. Back then, season two, watching those Vayne plays actually made me start playing AD carry, and I ran it down for like at least 1,000 games on Vayne. I still run it down, but that's what I try to play my game off of.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I mean, Double Lift's had some pop off moments, and you've also
Yep.
had some pop off moments.
Sad
So,
champ.
all right. That means you're retiring next season, then, right? Is that how that works? Not
Maybe
my
I don't know.
viewership.
Yeah, it's on retire for like 2 weeks and then come back in and then go back out.
There we go. All right, Mr. Nick Mead. Who's your pro player analog? What are you feeling?
Oh man, I think I'd have to go with C9 Sneaky. I have his jersey in my closet, so and the way that he just pulls off a maid outfit when he puts it on, I really look up to that. I don't
So
Right.
does it
DM
mean
me.
cosplay in the future?
Yeah.
know. Maid, yes.
I
Hell
don't
yeah.
know if your Ash is as sick as Sneaky's, but I know your Jin is up there, so I can see it. Also, DM me your OnlyFans after the show. Cincy, what's your pro player analog? What are you thinking?
Well, I'm a huge fanboy for T1 Teddy. Like he's my favorite AD of all time.
Oh
I'm
my
pretty
god,
sure.
that guy's such
The
a
guy
beast.
who plays like he just makes the role look effortless. He farms like near perfect all game, always in the right spot. He's crazy. He just plays like a slow, methodical game. Can carry if you let him. He's a late game insurance policy.
Is T1 Teddy the best ADC in the world right now?
Right now,
Or,
uh,
or is it Daddy? I'm close.
oh, put it between those two. It's a tough call on that one. I like. Uh, I'll say yes to not have to really think about it, but probably not.
All right, there you go. And then Mr. Steven.
Personality wise, man, I think I'm like double lift. Everybody else is trash. Totally kidding, but partly true.
Uh-huh.
And then in terms of
Hey.
play, I think I'm like Chovy because like I do some dumb stuff that gets me caught, and then I like bail. I have my mechanics try to bail me out, and sometimes it does, and other times it's like I just ran it down. So maybe Chovy
Right.
doesn't do that, but I'm budget version.
Yeah.
Right. I guess I should answer this question. And I asked you guys, what homeless man's edition of a pro player are you? I am not a homeless man's edition of this player. In fact, I am a homeless man that died 5 years ago and is buried under a tombstone somewhere in like a Colorado desert version of Faker probably. I play for map and like just run around, and my champion pool is pretty big. So, and he's my favorite player for forever, just like everybody else in the world. So see you
Yep.
guys in the Colorado desert digging up my tombstone. Finally, let's see. Another question. When is Gwen enabled? We never said that. I think this coming week is actually fine. We usually just like to disable it for weeks that they get released on. So like the entire league, it's not some games in a week being played with Gwen and then some games in the league being played without Gwen. So I think, barring any game breaking bugs, which I don't think there are that many on Gwen, unlike somebody named Viego, um, I think she'll be on for week 5. So you can
What
play
do
her.
y'all think
Why
about
not?
Gwen in
Yeah,
general?
I expect you to play her first things. Sorry, what was that question?
Oh, what do y'all think about Guan in general? For anybody?
Yeah, take it
Well,
away.
I can't tell if like she's just broken or if she's just broken. Cause all I'm saying is I couldn't click her yesterday. She used some ability, couldn't click her, and then I got one shot, and I'm like, what? You have 3 kills.
Yeah, I think the champ's kind of frustrating to play against just because of the W. Like, but I think it
Yeah.
might be bad. I don't know.
Not being able to target her
Yeah,
is
that,
just
that
so frustrating. Like
that's
like
way worse than just like Zinult, where you can.
you can at least target him so you can
Yeah,
keep
at
track of him and keep distance.
least I feel like I'm doing something. I just stand there and look like an idiot against Gwen.
I think her sustain's a lot more frustrating later in the game. It's just like, no, I just won't die. You have heal reduction, but I just won't die.
I mean, she probably also feels a little extra OP because no one knows how to play against her yet. I mean, but she does a lot of
have
damage
a
though.
very low win rate,
Have
as Mr.
viewers.
Flying Lightning says. Sub 40% right now.
Right. Well, we'll probably see those numbers go a little bit up. But yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm not too offended when I see Gwen, but the untargetability thing makes me pretty tilted when I play ADC against her. So, all right. And then our last question we have so far from Mr. Javier, of course. Who are the hardest players to ban in draft? I assume hardest players to ban out, like, and ban against in draft. What do you guys think? Any thoughts?
Outside of,
Um,
see,
I mean, I think Rito Burrito has a pretty massive pool, but I mean,
Ooh.
you don't really want to look out to ban him in your against your team
Yeah,
anyway.
it's got Scion and a
against
little bit of
Sion.
Scion.
Well, literally, that's because you guys always make him play Scion, man.
Hell
I've
yeah,
seen this
dude.
guy play
Make him.
some
Have you
other
talked
stuff.
to him?
Yeah,
He's a
you're right. He
Sion
loves Scion.
fanboy.
He does love Scion. I mean, I don't mean to sound conceited, but I think I'm pretty hard to ban out too. Brian's hard to ban out because he has such a big champ pool. Who else is there? I'm sure there's more. I just can't
I
think on
think
top of my head.
I think for me it might be D Drew in the jungle. I have no clue what that guy's gonna play. Like, it's tough to ban him. I don't know. Plays a lot of junglers kind of randomly. Like if I had to pick a player to try and ban out, that would be the tough one.
And then Javier in chat says Misa's hard to ban out. I think so too. Misa has a lot of
Yeah, me
champions in
too.
his pool for sure. Okay,
Yeah,
so
and the moment you
let's add
forget
on to
one.
that. Let's add on to that. There are some players that are easier to ban out, but what are some of the more terrifying like one-trick players in the league? Because there are some players that have just like pocket picks. A lot of players are building out more than just their one tricks. Some people are really famous for it, but like when you run into a specific one trick and their pick is up, when do you look at your draft and you're like, oh no, what have I done?
It's obviously the Great Flash for Necton. Obviously.
Obviously, he'll never
Uh,
get
I
that
mean,
one right.
You got Mr. Tactical Gazelle and Chia Snacks on Pike.
Elena's Pike.
have you guys seen Brian's Corky? Hello? Yo, the
Yes.
other day, I'm just saying, I saw this man TP into 4 people and get a pentakill. So,
Yeah, Pepperidge Farms remembers. Also MBB. Sorry. Yeah, I do question the logic of banning a blind pick Corky in the first round, but we'll take it. Yeah, I don't know.
Just let it go through.
Anybody else?
Because we can't punish you hard enough for it. What other one trick have I mean,
hey,
Calzanavia.
Not a one trick, but you definitely do gotta think about the Nickmead's eye every now and then, because oh
Yeah,
man, it's pretty
look, dude,
nasty.
all I'm
yeah,
saying
con
is,
or not, dude.
Okay,
all I'm
wait.
saying
Extra
is,
Sonic gets banned every game. Can that count?
Oh yeah.
y'all are lucky I can't play mid this season. Y'all just lucky. Just gonna pull out that Zed and put fear into all of your souls.
Hmm.
The chat wants is begging a mention of Jack Limestone's Jinx.
Wait, hasn't that been
The
left open?
I feel like it's been left open every game. He's got to pick it. He's got to show the world. Pick it against us. We're
True.
waiting.
I'm warning you. Don't give that man Jinx. It's the only champ he can play.
I don't. Is that it? Has it even been banned yet? I don't know.
I don't think
It
anything
hasn't. I'm
did
not
it
sure.
to him. I think
Yeah,
he'd take it if it were up.
maybe. Huh.
Let's
He
see.
thought Jinx was trash for some reason for like the last 3 patches, but
Yeah, until like a bunch of LCS players started playing her, and then it was like, yeah, she's still trash though.
All right, and then that's it for our questions. And finally, as we wrap up, here are the standings. They're a little wonky because two of these teams, including mine, haven't yet played. See you tomorrow when we finish week 4 and head into week 5. But it's Panic at the Oceans that are at the top right now, tied for second. A bunch of teams, maybe Panic at the Oceans drops there and we all tie for first in one big happy 5-team clump. Um, After that, Acid Rabbits, Student Council at 2-2, the only team with the tied record right now, maybe joined by Acid Rabbits. And then a couple teams, or 3 teams at 1-3, and then, oh, sorry, Brennan. Yeah, we'll just move on. We don't need to worry about that.
The start to a 5-4 record is 0-4.
Hey, you can ask Deep Dive on their playoff run from last season because, it kind of looked a little bit like this in the regular season,
Except
and
that
then
they
something
started
clicked.
with a win
Really-
in
really good
the
in best of
regular
three.
season.
Well, there was a click there, so you're just waiting for your click, hopefully.
Oh yeah.
And that's about it. Let's hit up the schedule. We're going to talk about very briefly what matches we're looking forward to. We have a lot of TBD teams. Schedule your goddamn games. Ours is soon TM. The Panting Puma, if you're watching this, fill out your when is good, you son of a bitch. Anyways, other than that, we've got 2
Exo-
matches that are actually scheduled. Sorry?
XO is also scheduled.
XO is
Oh,
good.
okay. Graphics are dated. You hear that, Elena? Somebody else flamed your graphics. How dare they? MBB versus THD play on Thursday. Second breakfast NBS on Friday, and everybody else soon TM. What match, regardless of the time that they are not yet scheduled on, which match are you guys looking forward to? Let's see, Alki. What's the
I think
hype
I'm looking
match here?
forward to the NBA second breakfast game just because I already hyped up my boy Eddie. I'm on the hype train. I gotta see it through, even if it crashes. We all go down. You gotta have faith.
For sure. I mean, I would agree. I think second breakfast NBS is the real highlight here. It's gonna be a banger. They're both at 3-1. I mean, they're good teams. So, and I think we, like you said, our boy Eddie. Let's see him debut in his first BSTL game. Any other
Let's
takes?
go. I mean, that would have been my first choice, but since it's already said, I'm just gonna go with GB versus AR, only because I feel like the predictions are super skewed in favor of AR, obviously. And I think the game's gonna be a lot closer than people expect. So
I think so too. I think it'll be a good one for sure. Yeah. What about you, NickMead, Brennan? What y'all
Well,
feeling?
I've got a lot of anxiety built up over this next game that I'm participating in. But aside from that, I think PIO versus Deep Dive is my game to watch.
Ooh.
I think Deep Dive continues their growth. They're gonna really start to fill out as a team.
Yeah,
For sure.
Scary contender.
I agree. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game. Sounds like a real uh blowout
Game.
Blowout game. Ooh.
blowout game.
Not sure if that was the phrase you were looking for, but here we are. And then finally, Mr. Who we missed? Dan?
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Dan?
I've got to do the Thursday MBB THD game. Mainly because I love watching Adam and Misa go against each other. I think
Ooh,
that's
fair.
a really, really good matchup. Like probably if we didn't have our 2 guests here, I would probably highlight those 2 junglers.
Throwback to BTL champion well, Hugs and Unicorns, but Caribou, who didn't even make the all BTL team last season. Think about that one.
Yeah.
He wants his revenge. All right, and that'll do it. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody on the desk. Thank you Nick, Mead, and Brennan. Hopefully one of you is still alive, or both of you are still alive after your match. Take it easy.
Well, he's gonna off one of us.
Eh. All right, take it easy, fam. Goodbye, everybody. Good
Bye.
night, live from LA.